Hello, fellow rebels against the ordinary. What if the invisible force lighting your world right now, the same one that powers your morning coffee and midnight scrolls, has been dangled just out of reach, a birthright stolen by suits in boardrooms? Picture this, a simple twist of wire and magnet, born in a dim London lab nearly 2 centuries ago, capable of flooding your home with clean, endless energy, if only we'd been allowed to keep it. Today, we're cracking open Michael Faraday's 1831 secret, the electromagnetic spark that birthed modern power but was chained to the grid's altar. From a poor boy's wild dreams to the blackout-proof homes of tomorrow, this is the untold saga of independence they never wanted you to claim. Buckle up, because by the end, you'll see your light switch in a whole new glow. And if stories like this, ones that flip history on its head and hand you the tools to rewrite your own, get your pulse racing, smash that subscribe button for the channel. We drop these revelations weekly, so ring the bell and join the uprising. Let's start at the beginning. Not with grand palaces or ivory towers, but in the gritty haze of 18th century England, where the air tasted like coal dust and ambition was a luxury few could afford. Imagine a chilly autumn day in 1791 in the sleepy village of Newington Butts, Surrey. A baby boy cries into the world, Michael Faraday, the 4th child of James, a blacksmith whose hands were calloused from the forge, but whose lungs were failing from the fumes. Their home, a cramped cottage where the family's weekly bread, one single, stubborn loaf, had to stretch for days. Michael later scribbled in his journals, "We were often so pinched for food that my mother would divide the loaf into portions, and we'd eye it like wolves. No silver spoons here. Just survival," laced with a quiet faith from his mother's Sandemanian sect. Those humble Christians who saw God's hand in every humble gear. School, a Sunday affair at the local chapel, scratching out letters and sums on a slate while the world outside churned with the first whispers of the Industrial Revolution. By 13, Michael's out delivering newspapers for a bookbinder in Blandford Street, his eyes devouring the pages he hauls, tales of far-off lands, philosophies that twist the mind like a key in a lock. Then, at 14, apprenticeship calls, 7 long years binding books for George Rebo, a kind but firm taskmaster. Picture young Michael, ink-stained fingers, flying over leather covers, but his real work happens in stolen moments. He scavenges old bottles and scrap lumber from the shop's alley, cobbling together a makeshift electrostatic generator, a crude thing that spits sparks like angry fireflies. "It was my first taste of power," he'd reflect years later. "Not from kings or coins, but from the invisible dance of forces." But here's where fate winks. Among the tomes he rebinds is the 3rd edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, its pages on electricity crackling with promise. Voltaic piles, Leyden jars. Michael devours them, building his own weak battery from scavenged zinc and copper, fizzing acids in the dead of night while his fellow apprentices snore. Rhetorical question for you, friends. What drives a boy with no formal learning to chase lightning in a candlelit garret? Hunger, sure, but also that Sandemanian spark, a belief that nature's secrets are puzzles from the divine, meant for all hands, not just the elite. By 1812, that hunger propels him to the Royal Institution's doors. He's heard of Humphrey Davy, the silver-tongued chemist whose lectures pack London's halls like rock concerts. Michael scrapes together shillings for a ticket, sits front row, scribbles every word in flawless shorthand, over 300 pages of it. Back home, he binds those notes into a leather tome, adds a bold letter. Sir, if science needs a servant with fire in his veins, here I am. Davy, knighted and brilliant, pockets the plea. Months pass. Michael grinds on, heart sinking. Then, a brawl in the lab. Davy's assistant gets the boot, and in steps Faraday, 21 years old, wide-eyed valet to genius. Under Davy, it's alchemy turned apprenticeship. They isolate sodium and potassium, elements that burst like stars from molten pots. They chase chlorine's ghost through gases. But Michael chafes at the assistant's yoke, polishing silver 1 hour, pondering atoms the next. I am not a machine, he confides to his journal, but a mind forged for more. By 1820, he's no longer in the shadows. RSTD's bombshell hits. A Danish physicist shows current through a wire twists a compass needle. Electricity births magnetism. Ampere piles on, mapping those magnetic loops like invisible rivers. Faraday's hooked. He rigs his first motor, a wire cradle swinging round a battery. The horseshoe magnet, it circles, trembling like it's alive. It's crude, it sparks, but it moves. Electricity to motion, the seed of everything to come. Yet frustration builds. For a decade, he pokes at induction's ghost. Can magnetism birth electricity back? Experiments fizzle, literally, with sparks, but no steady flow. Davy's star wanes. Rivals whisper Faraday's just the echo. But in our stories, subtle weave. Imagine Michael pacing the institution's attic lab, one fog-shrouded dawn in 1831. The Thames murmuring below like a conspirator. His wife's gentle hand on his shoulder, Sarah Barnard, married in 21, his anchor through the storms. The lines are there, Sarah, he murmurs, tracing invisible curves on fogged glass. I feel them pulling. Little does he know, the pull will upend the world and threaten empires yet unborn. Fast forward to spring 1831, Faraday's no boy anymore. At 39, he's the institution's workhorse, juggling lectures, legal gigs, analyzing forged bonds. His eye for alloys saves the crown thousands, and midnight wrestles with light's polarization through chemicals. But sound steals his focus, collaborating with Charles Wheatstone on vibrations. They play with Chladni plates, iron discs dusted with sand, bowed like violins until patterns bloom, geometric flowers of resonance. Wheatstone, that clever instrument maker, demonstrates acoustic induction. Vibrate one plate, and a distant twin echoes the pattern, unseen waves bridging the gap. Michael's eyes light up. If sound can induce form across space, he scribbles, why not force across fields? This is the pivot, friends, the dream coalescing. Arsted and Ampere gave the map. Now Faraday sketches the terrain. He rejects the old fluid theory of electricity. No ethereal juice sloshing through wires. Instead, tensions, like bowstrings, drawn taut. He calls it the electrotonic state, particles humming on the brink, but proof, elusive as London fog. He tries polarized light through electrolyzed solutions, hunting strains in the ether. Nothing. The 1820s drag. Successes in diamagnetism. Heavy glass repelling magnets like shy ghosts, liquefying gases, isolating benzene's ring. Yet, induction mocks him. Enter suspense. What if the breakthrough hides in plain sight? Faraday pores over iron filings splayed round a bar magnet. Those lines of force, curving like magnetic rivers he first sketched in 31 notes. By magnetic curves, I mean lines of magnetic action, he writes, prophetic. Wheatstone witnesses the spark over tea in the institution's parlor. Michael muses on induction rings, coils hugging iron like lovers. Test it, Wheatstone urges, his voice a conspirator's whisper. Days blur into nights. Assistants scatter as Faraday haunts the lab, sleeves rolled, face smudged with solder. Rhetorical nudge, ever felt that itch, that near miss, where truth dangles like a key on a string? That's Faraday, in July 31, coils wound, batteries charged, but the galvanometer sleeps. He pivots to sound's lesson, dynamic cause for static effect. What if the change matters? Close the circuit, slow, no jump, slam it shut, bam. But he needs witnesses. Validation beyond his racing pulse. August 29th, 1831. The date etched in eternity. Pulled from Faraday's own lab diary, witnessed by the Royal Society's annals. The lab, a vaulted chamber in Albemarle Street, air thick with ozone and expectation. A thick iron ring, 2 feet round, like a blacksmith's halo, lies on the bench. One arc wound with 40 feet of insulated copper wire, hitched to a galvanometer that needle-eyed sentinel. The other arc, bare coils to a voltaic battery, fresh charged with acid bite. Faraday's hands tremble, not from fear, but that electric thrill. Sarah's packed lunch sits cold. Time dissolves. He closes the primary circuit, expecting a steady deflection. He watches. Nothing at first, then twitch. The needle leaps right, a comet's tail, then settles. Induced. He gasps, voice echoing off stone walls. Wheatstone, hovering like a shadow, leans in. Again, Michael, open it. The circuit breaks. The needle vaults left, opposite fury. Laughter bubbles, triumph laced with awe. It's the change, Faraday exclaims, scribbling furiously. The making and breaking births, the current. Eyewitness gold, in his paper to the Royal Society. Faraday details the setup. The jumps measured in degrees. Proof for skeptics like Berzelius, who dismissed him as Davy's pup. But here's the storytelling shimmer. Imagine the room's hush, candle flames, dancing as if cheering. Faraday's pulse thunders, like the Thames in storm. He feels the tension release, particles sighing into flow. No fiction in the fact. This is electromagnetic induction. The principle, a changing magnetic field through a conductor, induces electromotive force, proportional to the flux cut per second, etched in his law. He doesn't stop. Fall deepens. Experiments cascade. Permanent magnets now. No batteries, bulk. A horseshoe magnet plunges into a coil. Galvanometer dances. Withdraw it. Reverse waltz. Lines cut. He murmurs, visualizing those filings, paths as the medium's veins. Speed matters. Faster plunge, wilder swing. Then genius strikes. For continuous power, a copper disc, handmade from sheet, spins twixt magnet poles, brushes, graze, rim, and axle. Voila, steady current flows, the rim slicing more lines than the hub. It's the first dynamo ancestor to every turbine humming today. Reverse it, feed current in the disc whirls. A motor's birth, contemporaries buzz. Davy, fading but proud, nods from afar. The philosophical magazine prints it. Experimental researches in electricity. Shock, ripples, electricity from motion. No fuel. The world tilts. But subtle shadow whispers in parlors. Useful for toys, scoffs one lord. Yet Faraday dreams bigger. Power for the masses, not monopolies. By winter 31, Faraday's lab is a whirlwind. He refines horsepower from horseshoe magnets. Crude, but it turns wheels. His lines of force evolve, tensions in the air, not just iron. No electrotonic proof yet, but the concept lingers, a ghost in his equations. Maxwell will mathematize it in 67. Fields unified, but immediate. The industrial beast stirs. Flash to 1832. Faraday lectures to packed halls, diagrams chalked huge. This force, he booms, is nature's gift, endless. If we but turn the key, applications sprout, early telegraphs hum on induced signals, lighthouses gleam with arc lights. But here's the hook's tease. What if this gift was never meant for all? Enter the grid's genesis. The 1830s, 1880s, electricity's Wild West. Small dynamos, power factories, Faraday's disc-scaled, belted to steam engines. Hippolyte, Pixies, 1832 magneto, a flickering AC generator, lights Paris labs. In America, 1879, Edison's Pearl Street Station, DC bulbs for Manhattan's elite. But DC's short leash blocks away, darkness reigns. From sources like Power Magazine's timelines, by 1900 centralized grids, spiderweb, coal plants belching, lines snaking to cities. Why centralize? Efficiencies lie. Scale slashes costs per kilowatt, but locks control. Faraday's principle, baked in, turbines spin, induction coils scream megawatts, yet small scale. Historical footnotes. 1880s farm dynamos, hand-cranked for barns. 1920s windmills in the Dakotas, Faraday coils charging batteries. Eyewitness homesteaders' diaries, archived in Smithsonian logs. Gush, no more lantern nights, our own spark. Suspense builds, but as grids grow, so do guardians. 1930s rural electrification, government wires to farms, but on utility terms. Post-World War II, atomic age megaplants. Regulations thicken, building codes favor grid teens. Zoning berries, home turbines. Envision a 1905 inventor, hat brims low in a Brooklyn shed, coaxing a bicycle dynamo hybrid. Lights flicker, neighbors gawk, then a knock. Utility man with safety papers. Unsafe, he declares, eyes on the meter, monopoly, coincidence, or the grid's quiet clamp. Friends, here's the heart of the shock. Faraday's secret wasn't buried by physics, but by profit's invisible hand. Dive into the history, Hitachi Energy's archives, trace grids from 1880s isolated plants to 1920s interconnections. Pearl Street, 59 customers, 110 kilowatts. By 1930, U.S. grids link 80% urban homes, utilities as titans. Why suppress the small? Economics, raw, fixed costs soar for microgrids. Transmission losses minimal at scale, but deeper control. Britannica notes Faraday's induction enables transformers. AC stepped high for lines, low for homes. Utilities own the pipes, you pay the toll. Suppressions, threads, 1910s PUCs, Public Utility Commissions, standardize permits for home gens, labyrinths. 1970s oil crises spark solar stir, but Reagan guts incentives. Grids rebound. Eyewitness, 1980s off-gridders in Appalachia, per oral histories in EIA reports, face eminent domain for lines. They ran poles through our haulers, one widow recalls, said, isolation's a sin. Modern echo, net metering fights, states cap solar exports, fees for grid burden. Rhetorical fire. Ever wonder why solar farms cost 5 figures? But Faraday's principle fits a garage, because independence erodes empires, utilities rake billions, blackouts, their chaos, your bill. Yet cracks show. 2020's microgrids in Puerto Rico post-Maria, Faraday coils in community hubs, the lie, not impossibility, conspiracy of convenience. But hope flickers in the margins. Historical DIY gems, 1890s, per EBSCO archives. Midwest farmers rig water-wheeled dynamos, Faraday discs on steroids, irrigating by day, lighting by night, quiet as prayer. One patent sketch notes. 1930s Sears catalogs, Hawk wind chargers, $200 for coils and blades, charging Delco batteries. No contracts, just winds whisper. Modern revival. Electronics tutorials, blueprinted. Hand crank Faraday flashlights, no batteries. Magnet spins, coils sing, or bike generators. Pedal a neodymium magnet past copper loops. Charge phones mid-ride. National MagLab demos. Classroom kits, replicate 31 ring. Kids gasping at the jump. Subtle story. Picture Emma, a 2025 homesteader in Vermont. Fictional flourish on real trends from contrary research. Rain patters her tin roof as she wires a salvaged alternator to a creek turbine. Lights bloom, grid outage. Her laugh echoes. Faraday's ghost grins. She toasts. Caveat. Truth seekers. Scale limits. Small setups for lights. Not EVs. Safety first. Insulate. Ground. But the principle. Timeless. Apps like induction kitchen science in school show hobs humming on the same law. Eddy currents. Cooking sans flame. So, how to start? Simple. Scavenge a bike wheel, strong magnet, spool of wire, spin it near coils, feel the hum, that's freedom's pulse. Scale up, solar hybrids, but Faraday core, microhydro from gutters. This isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake, it's Faraday's echo, power as right, not privilege. In his words, nature is our friend. And there you have it, history rebels, the shocking lie, unmasked, Faraday's 1831 gift, reclaimed, from a needle's twitch to your untethered tomorrow. This principle reminds us, true power starts small, spins wild, and defies chains. Key lessons, innovation thrives in garages, not giants. Independence is profitable only to the soul. Lingering mysteries. Did utilities bury it knowingly, or was it inertia's slow poison? What if Faraday foresaw the grid's grip, his lines of force a metaphor for freedom's cut? Could a world of home sparks avert climate's storm, or ignite a new revolution? What about you? Ever tinkered a generator? Drop your stories below. Did Faraday's secret light a bulb in your mind? Like if you're ditching the grid, share for a friend's wake-up, and subscribe to the channel for more keys to the past that unlock your future. Until next time, keep questioning the current. Stay sparked.